So it's March 24th now. Our first guests will come May 27th. So that's the Friday of Memorial Weekend. There is so much to do before then. If we were checking my heart rate, it just went up with this question.
My name is Jamie Keller. I'm one of the owners here at Brookside Resort.
My name is Joanna Wallenberg, and I am an owner at Brookside.
My name is Josh, and my role at Brookside, I think about this a lot, is difficult for me to think about, but I would say I'm a manager / owner and husband to Joanna. That's my role.
Brookside Resort is a cabin resort on a lake in northern Minnesota where we kind of specialize in family activities and family groups getting together and week-long vacations up north in Minnesota with fishing and woodsy stuff and fires and swimming and playing. It's a good place to have fun.
Brookside has a ton of amenities, which makes it a very busy place. So it's got cabins. Cabins all have full kitchens and air conditioning, which is a big thing nowadays. We also have a lodge area with an arcade, pool, snack bar, where you're making ice cream, that kind of thing. We've got a golf course, mini golf, basketball court, tennis courts. I think that's about it. A couple different playgrounds around. And we sell bait.
So as far as we know, Brookside started back in the 1920s. The guy named Vic Anderson, he owned a large section of the lake and actually built a lot of the original cabins around Two Inlets Lake. And then he started Brookside Resort. He still has some relatives around the lake. I think nieces and nephews mostly, which would be my grandparents' age. And then it went to another family called the Bedfords, and Bedfords lived here and they expanded it. So the way it is now with the number of cabins and things, Bedfords did that. They grew the resort to that big. I think when Vic Anderson had it, it was 11 cabins, and Bedfords grew it to 24 cabins. And they put in the golf course, and Bedfords used to have horses. So when my parents took over in their first summer was 1978, they actually had horses, so it was Brookside Ranch Resort back then.
They were kind of ahead of their time. Nobody else was doing that then, so they were kind of revolutionary in what they created. So then my parents bought it in 1978, I think. And then our family has been here ever since. We bought it from my parents. We started running it in 2010.
So my parents started out, when we were kids, they did a project every year. And they'd plan for them, be it a cabin remodel or some sort of improvement, bringing in some new facility, that kind of thing, every year. So it was a habit that we continued when we came back. So every year we try to add something, improve something, upgrade something, those kind of things. It's typically a full cabin remodel or a big facelift on a bunch of cabins. One year we did 13 bathroom remodels, and then we do big cabins. This year's project was the biggest project we've ever done. Took down our old staff facility and rebuilt it with the addition of a whole new laundry space and workspace for the resort. So it's a 4,000 square foot building that we are trying to complete in about 8 months, which is a little crazy if building schedules normally takes longer than that for a building of that size.
If you could think of a type of work that you would want to do, part of that is involved in running a resort. So, first and foremost, you're working with people. So you've got to be really good with people. You're also working as a manager of staff. You're also working as kind of a maintenance person inside the cabin. So you know, as far as I'm concerned, like, you need to know how to fix pretty much anything that would be in a cabin. You need to know how to build pretty much anything that involves staying somewhere. You have to be that, you know, the department head of any department that would be in a regular corporation. Each of us has to play a small role in all of it.
I think the special part about Brookside is how connected people feel to it. Me included, our family included. But it's interesting. I know neighbors, people in the community who used to work here when they were kids. They're now probably in their 70s. They even worked for the owners previous to my parents. They love to tell me stories about Brookside. It doesn't matter like how you connected here, when you connected here. People just connect so deeply. So for me, it's all about the connections. The people we serve, we know really well.
Brookside, you know, growing up, you know, you get a connection to your home, right? Well, my home was not only the house, it was all this property, it was all this space, it was all these things I got to do. You know, I grew up thinking it's normal to have a swimming pool to go play in, thinking it's normal to have a mini golf course right there, thinking, yeah, that's a normal thing to be able to disappear into the woods for half a day and never leave my property. Now as an adult, I see how that is not normal at all, and I'm very happy to be able to provide the same thing for my kids, let them have those experiences too, that kind of space, that kind of freedom.
In terms of industry-wide, resorts are becoming fewer, unfortunately. That's unfortunate, but it's creating a demand for this type of vacation that's just continues to rise. I mean, and through the pandemic, the demand has gotten a little bit wild. I don't think we anticipated that. And I don't know how, I mean, it's some tied to COVID and people not being able to do other types of things and this being a safe vacation, but I think some of it's tied to there are fewer and fewer resorts. So I think Brookside will continue to just be really busy. And we are hearing from our guests who've been here 30, 40, 50 years that they plan to continue.
So we want to continue to update what needs to be updated, you know, make our cabins nicer, make sure people have the facilities they want, that kind of thing. But we don't want to lose that old-fashioned sense of neighborhood.
After that point, I think we start to think about what it looks like for the next generation. And as more and more families kind of become involved in it, I think our focus becomes how do we keep Brookside, how do we safeguard Brookside, and how do we pass that along to the next generation, whether it be our children or the next generation of resorters. I think that becomes a focus, and that becomes a difficult challenge, but something that I think we look forward to setting up for everything.
I love Brookside. Bye.